Good evening and welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. I am Aaron and I'm going to be your game master tonight as we continue in Warhammer 40K Cubicle 7 Wrath and Glory. We're playing through the Litanies of Lost Adventures and we find ourselves moving towards the conclusion of Dark Biddings, but there's been some issues. I'm going to go ahead and let the players introduce themselves first and we'll do a quick recap of our last episode. And then we'll see what they do to right the ship. So let's start tonight with Long.
Wigbadhan here, the death cult assassin. Draped in all black, hooded, beady red eyes. And my objective for tonight will be to convert a non-believer to the faith of Imperial cult.
Wonderful. And Melissa.
Yeah, so normally you can find Sister Nura kind of decked out in all of her, Sisters of Battle gear and whatnot. But currently she's dressed like an employee of this place that we're at. So she has been working on blending in the last couple of sessions. And her objective is still here from last time, which was to purge a heretical item or individual with holy flame.
I like it. Get the Holy Flamer out. Jeff, it's hammer time.
I am Vintael. I am a Fulgurite electoral priest. I believe that the flesh is weak, but the motive force is power. And I tonight will calculate the odds of any given task and provide an estimate of survival or obliteration. And I wear no shirt so that I might show everyone my electus in pecs, and I have no eyes, but I have hammer pants. That's all I got.
That's good stuff. Ashley.
I am playing Sister Celeste, otherwise known as Janet, ? She is a Sister Hospitaller. But obviously, I'm not decked out in my gear right now. We kind of went undercover stealth mode. So I am not dressed up as like a corporate employee, but she is just kind of in like a black and browns and not her usual getup. And she's with Brother Tala, our Byrrc Talov, as he's, hacking stuff. She's trying to look unimportant. She's used to looking imposing, and she's trying to not do that right now. So
It is tough for a Sister of Battle. And what's your objective?
My objective is to fill my lungs with a bolstering hymn in the time of stress.
Where you're likely to get that opportunity.
Yes.
I think that it may come up. And last but not least, Justin.
I'm Gavious Vintael. I am a Inquisitor, or part of the Inquisition. I'm an Inquisitorial Acolyte. I do lots of stuff with my brain, a lot of woo, 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 woo stuff. And currently half my head's blown off. My chest has a giant metal plate in it now, and my leg has been blown off. And my objective today is to demonstrate the superiority of the philosophy of my Ordo. So I believe I'm Ordo
Xenos.
So like the idea of like alien bad.
Alien bad. I would have thought that your objective might be not to lose another limb in this adventure.
I got plenty of those left, so we're good.
All right, I love it. Heavily augmented, following in Eisenhorn's path of Inquisitor. Not Ravenor.
If only
level,
I could.
but
if only I can only strive to be so great, you know.
We'll see. We'll see if we can get you there. So that's our crew. They've alluded to some issues they ran into. So let's recap what happened. Briefly, they were asked by an Inquisitor, Inquisitor Wrathborn, along with Helene Veronius, to do some investigation into a smuggling ring. Helene is interested in the smuggling ring itself. Inquisitor Wrathborn is interested in a rival Inquisitor named Argyle and his interest in the smuggling ring. So our groups split off with Byrrc, Nura, and Sister Celeste beginning their investigations on Evacris, and Wigbert Hahn and V were sent to the moon of Odo to look at a shuttle that has been flagged as being a potential transport vessel for this smuggling ring. They were inside that shuttle at the beginning of our last session when the owner of it, a rust stalker, a heretic rust stalker, took control of the Arvis lighter and took off with it. They were quickly discovered to be on the Arvis lighter, and they got into a bit of a tussle with the rust stalker. Things were not going well, but they ultimately got the upper hand. Just as the Arvis lighter was burning through the atmosphere, however, due to some excellent piloting skills, they landed the Arvis lighter without absolutely destroying themselves, having found out that this Ruststalker heretic was meant to meet up with a group of tech gangers called the Hard Cases and act as an escort for them up the space elevator to one of the orbital rings, Delta Signovum, which was a main Imperial shipyard that specializes in void ship armor repairs. However, of course, the Ruststalker Heretic did not quite make the landing, so the two of them simply met up with their other associates who had just finished being questioned by a criminal investigator from Biloxia named Loxon. They decided that they pooled their resources, they pooled their information. They decided to check out the spaceport, get the lay of the land, figure out what was going on. They realized that the Hard Cases, using the technicians' codes, had made reservations on the space elevator. One had happened the day before. They found out that the tech and most of the Hard Cases had already gone up with the status coffin, and that the rest of the Hard Cases were to leave the following day. So they scoped everything out. They realized that they were going to need to get passes to go on the space elevator. Beric had done it in the past. He knew that it could be a little difficult with the particular attendant that handles this. They looked at the line. It was about a 4-hour Disney line, as others have said. And they knew it was going to cost them. They managed to get their sponsor to provide them some credits to go towards it. But they came up with a better idea. Rather than wait around for the space elevator, rather than wait through that line and bribe their way on so they could go up with the Hard Cases, they decided instead to rent a shuttle and fly up to the void station, Delta Signovum, and lay in wait for the Hard Cases. They got off. They docked. They had no problems. They got the lay of the land of the upper levels of this Imperial shipyard. They managed to steal 3 uniforms to disguise themselves as technicians of the station. Beric and Sister Celeste managed to hack into the cogitators of the station, so they got a better idea of what was going on. They were laying in wait. They were ready to carve out the Hard Cases so they could interrogate them. When all of the warning klaxons went off on the station, the Skitarii security forces swarmed the area. As soon as the doors to the space elevator opened, they went in, guns blazing, and the Hard Cases were all killed. Because what you found out as people were streaming off of the space elevator was that the Hard Cases, in a paranoid fit, in fear that others on the elevator were Imperial agents, opened fire, trying to kill the Imperial agents. It did not go well for them. And so that is where we find ourselves in the moment at great doors to the space elevator, of flesh, O's in the air, streaming and streaming around you. You see Skitarii Skitarii security forces are trying to cordon off and separate the civilians. You see other security forces are within the main body of the space elevator, which is just an incredibly large open space because it usually transports a lot of cargo. And they are checking the bodies, the Hard Cases. The Hard Case tech gangers are easy to identify. They've all had both of their arms removed and replaced with cheap augmetics that they've painted red. And so you see them all laid out. There's probably a dozen of them in there. The Skitarii are basically just checking to see if they're alive. None of them seem to have taken control of the scene yet. Perhaps they're waiting for a more senior Skitarii agent to arrive on site. But you might have an opportunity here. So I will turn it over to you. What would you like to do in this moment?
Since a couple of us are disguised already, I'll jump into the scene, take a closer look.
Okay, how do you want to approach that? Are you like stealthing, or are you just walking in and trying to assert some authority?
It's more of if there's unmanned stations because the commotion's happening, get access to some terminals, look up some logs maybe.
Okay. Are you want to do that on the station, or are you trying to get into the space elevator itself and access its logs?
If there's space elevator logs, I'll head to that.
Okay, give me a stealth check, difficulty 4, to sneak onto the space elevator without the Skitarii recognizing that you're trying to get access. All right, no problem. So describe what it looks like as you get in there, and you tuck yourself away in the shadows, and you find one of the command cogitators for the space elevator. It's probably the internal atmosphere and security feeds, because it doesn't really have like a power system, so nobody's piling it, but it's you do have access to one of the cogitators.
And I'll take a crack at it, see what I can access.
Okay, give me it's fairly simple, so give me a difficulty 3 tech test.
It's all the tech I have, so here we go.
This should be interesting.
Huge, 3.
Oh my god, all right. Fantastic. So you're able to access the logs. What are you looking for?
Certain names of these individuals.
You see you do see the passenger manifest, and you can see the obvious fake identities for this. You see a dozen people whose names are clearly falsified, and you assume that they're probably the hard cases. Everyone else has a standard Imperial ident number next to their name and a position, but these dozen names have, to your trained eye as an Imperial assassin and a member of the Ministorum, you can easily see that these are falsified Imperial ident numbers.
Here's if we can get like something linked to them somehow.
What are you trying to link to them?
If they had certain cargo, they were bringing anything extra.
Okay, you're able to identify that there was another ticket for the space elevator that was not used. You assume based on what you know that was probably the ticket for the Rust Stalker Heretic. They had no cargo. They only brought their personal possessions on the space elevator.
Gotcha. I think that's good enough, and I'll slink away.
Okay. I'll let your stealth score right over on that, so you're able to get back out as the Skitarii continue to roll over bodies of hard cases and checking for pulses, checking to make sure none of their augmetics are set for any kind of booby traps, things of that nature.
I think maybe Nura would try to just get in the middle of things and just seem like someone needs someone strong to like sift through things and whatnot. So she'll walk around like she, look like you belong, to wearing the clothes like she belongs, and just we'll be wanting to see what she can, not that she's particularly good at looking at things, but just to kind of see what things she can like look at while she's like getting access to this thing, because clearly someone told her that they needed to help relocate, move some things.
So you're moving onto the space elevator then to look around. So as you approach, one of the Skitarii straightens up. designation and purpose for accessing the space elevator.
And so she's going to fumble through, like pointing in a particular direction. Like, this is an emergency. We're not doing all of that. And she'll just point over in that direction. Told me to come and move things.
Okay. Give me a difficulty 4 persuasion test.
Okay. With 4. And what do we get? Sorry, I forget this every time. With an audience bonus?
For this game, I think it's a single reroll.
Okay. That's right.
All right.
So I got 1 success. I'm only rolling 2 dice on this, which is why I was asking. I got 1 success and 1 wrath complication.
So I know what the complication is. So this guitar looks at you. He looks down. He's like, this area is restricted. Give me your station ident number.
Was there anything on the uniform in any way when it was put together?
Like, no, this would be kind of like a security number. It would be a number that you've been provided as an identification number, not really a badge.
Assumed that she's just gonna string some numbers together and kind of fall off as she says them. So she'll just throw like 6 numbers out and then just sort of trail off as if someone might be calling her in that direction.
Okay. Give me a difficulty 4 deception test.
It is.
And remember, everybody has resets, and you can spend a wrath point to reroll all failed dice.
I'm rolling 2, and everything's difficulty 4. So, like, there's not really any chance of success with this. Yeah, I rolled the best, almost the best that I could. I got 2 successes.
2 successes. That's pretty good. Not good enough because he's like, that is not a station number. Turn around and place your hands behind your back. And you see a couple of those Skitarii start to raise their weapons. You'll be questioned as to your purpose here.
How crowded is this area? Like,
it's pretty crowded.
How much do I think I could just kind of take off?
I mean, there are dozens of civilians milling around now who are in the space elevator, panicky. There's all of the dock workers who are coming to unload the space elevator who are being held back. So if you manage to get a few feet head start, you probably disappear into the crowd. And with the amount of crowd control this guy has to deal with, probably wouldn't chase you, but you would anticipate that you would go on the station alert relatively quickly as an accomplice. But yes, give me just a difficulty 2 athletics check.
See, athletics, 6 dice for that.
Sister of Battle here.
Come on. 2 successes.
That's enough. That's enough. So tell us what it looks like as you dart off into this crowd, and tell us where you're trying to head to.
So she's just gonna just say, like, there's other things to deal with right now. You're wasting time. And she's just gonna kind of push past him and just go to the really strategically, she's looking for the thickest side of the crowd. So whichever direction seems to have the thickest crowd, that's what she's going for.
Okay. You're able to easily see that. Give me an awareness test, though. Just difficulty 2.
I'm going to take an audience, and I want to reroll one of those with an audience and not do any better. So that's 1 success and a wrath complication.
Okay. So you blend into the crowd, into that thick part of the crowd, and you think everything is just fine. So the rest of you see Nora get rebuffed, almost arrested, and then dart off to the crowd. And you see her standing in the middle of the crowd looking around, but she appears to think that she is well hidden by the crowd. Who would like to
She's
try something
5'10"
next?
and looking over the crowd where she thinks she's
Crouch down. The Skitari now their awareness level though has been raised. So now they're not only considering the hard cases bodies, now they're considering potential co-conspirators amongst the crowd. So half of them are now facing out and facing the crowd, and the other half are dealing with the bodies.
Is there
Uh,
anyone alive on that elevator at all?
There's several civilians that came off. You can't tell from where you're at if any of the hard cases are actually still alive, but do you have a skill or talent that might allow you to figure it out?
I may have telepathy, but it's with another person, not with like.
I will give you a difficulty 5 psychic mastery test to basically just send out a pulse of telepathic energy and see if you get, essentially you're trying to ping them like radar and see if you get a blip back from anyone's mind. 5 successes. Okay. You ping out. You quickly pick up all of the minds of all of the civilians, all the minds of your crew, all of the minds of the Skitari, which are themselves very odd to read. Not, but you're used to that, having dealt with other Mechanicum. You know, they're so heavily their brains are so heavily augmented with cogitators that their minds don't quite read like normal humans anymore. But you do get the very briefest reflection off of somebody still on the space elevator, and the reason it draws your attention is it's almost a telepathic groan of pain, just this red knifing agony that feeds back to you. So you believe there might be one of the hard cases who is just hanging on to life.
No, sure. Like I was thinking. Well, first off, can I let's do this first. Um let's do a mind probe
Mhm.
and see what's happening with that.
Talk to us about
So-
Mind Probe.
So mind probe is on each of my turn. Blah, blah, blah. I must win an opposed willpower test with my target. If I succeed, you can probe the target's mind for secrets until the power ends. On either party loses consciousness.
Okay, just give me a flat difficulty 3 test for that, because he's not resisting. He's in too much pain. He's only quasi conscious. So you're, as long as you can just make the basic connection, you'll be able to push into his mind.
Difficulty 3, psychic mastery.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, wrath complication. You succeeded though. Let's see what the complication is, because it could be fun.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay.
I have to roll that. 1.
Oh, that's not the right complication. Let me pull up the table for psychic mastery problems.
He drops his pistol. We know how really, really good he is with that pistol. So that's a shame.
That is a shame.
Oh no!
Isn't it all melted metal still? Or
Do you want this?
All right.
There's also the shotgun. The shotgun you were really good with too, so you could probably drop that as
Yeah,
well.
most guns I'm great with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear. It's your
Can
reputation.
you just get in the mind of the Skitari that was watching Nora to just forget about? Otherwise, I'm gonna roll a new character.
So an awful droning buzz surrounds you, drowning out all speech, penetrates your mind. As far as you know, you're the only psyker in the area, though. But give me a difficulty 4 intellect test.
Oh no, we know my problems with intellect. Where's intellect?
You're
it's at the top.
smart.
My bad.
attribute.
Difficulty what?
Difficulty 4.
Oh no.
You got this. 3. That's pretty close. That's
Oh,
pretty
I
close.
only have 3 intellect.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So you're staggered by this effect. But that's it. But you made contact. So basically, you guys see the hoarfrost begins to form a little bit on his face. You know, he gets a little ice in his eyebrows. He turns a little pale, and his eyes go bloodshot. And then he kind of sags a little bit, almost as if is about to fall over, but he manages to catch himself. But what is it that you would like to know, V, as your mind connects with the dying mind of this hard case techno ganger?
So basically, we're trying to figure out like where they were headed, right? Because we don't know the location. So I want to know the location that group was headed to, so we can get to that spot. So that's what I'd like to figure out.
Okay. So as you reach into his mind, pushing for that, just the feedback you get is Odo, Odo, Odo. And you were just on the moon of Odo. That's where the shuttle that you were trying to search that belonged to that Rust Stalker was at. But that's what you get feedback from. But there's something else. When he thinks about Odo, you see visions of different groups. You feel anxiety and fear coming off of him, not for his own death, but about the moon of Odo itself, or something that's supposed to happen there.
Does anyone kind of like delve deeper into
Absolutely,
like, figure out
absolutely. I mean, you're in, so just you ask what questions you want to ask, and if he knows them, you'll be able to find it out.
Why are you afraid of the moon?
So you see again flashes of this like underground bunker on Odo, and you see other hard case members moving around. It looks like they're setting up for something. And then an image flashes in his mind, and it's a pass, an electronic invitation to an auction that the hard cases are holding for this status coffin and a few other items. But he's terrified because the people who've showed up for the auction, he's sure are just going to kill them and take what they want.
Do you have this auction invitation on you?
And you see a vision in his mind as his mind begins to cloud and close down, and you feel him start to slip away. But the last image you see is when he was getting ready to get on the space elevator. He took this electro pad that has the invitation on it, and he put it in a pocket in the inside of the vest that he is wearing. And then he passes away.
Well, I want to do something else, but that's going to cause more stress, and then he died, so it didn't help either. All right, okay. Well, I guess I tell the group, like, hey, this occurred. My idea was I was going to have him pop off a few office pops, you know, Jeff, you know what I'm talking about, office pops, to have them distract the Sakatari so Nira could get away.
Or the other guys. The other guys.
Yes, I was going to do. Have you never done office pop? I was going to do that, but obviously that's ruined because the loser had to die. So I guess I tell the group.
Is he talking to himself? Because I don't think Talov and I are there.
Guys, office pops.
You guys have comms, so
okay. Yeah.
Would Bjerk have noticed that? Because last Bjerk was at, I think he was messing around with like elevator controls. Like I think he was going to kind of screw around with that a little bit, but obviously the plan's gone sideways. Would Bjerk have noticed that Sister Nura screwed the pooch a bit, and that would he see coming in on any of these terminals that he might have had access to, like alerts coming up for Nura? Is that happening yet?
You're sure that, I mean, you've seen how badly things have gone for Sister Nura, and you see her clearly in the crowd based on her complication. So you could definitely give me a tech roll, simple difficulty 3, to access any station alerts.
Okay. Difficulty 3. And I'm going to use my buddy as well. That's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Pastor Cravo. That is Wrath critical, 7 successes with 2 shifts possible. So,
Okay. So you immediately get this alert with her face, her biometrics, her body signature, her body temperature, her height, her weight, everything. Retinal scan, all of this information pops up. It says suspected archaeoterrorist, detain or eliminate on site. Forces moving in, and you see that it looks like there's a couple of Skitarii hunters with cyber mastiffs and about a dozen cyber skulls that are on the way to converge here at the space elevator. You probably think they'll be here in less than 30 seconds.
is there a way I can tamper with that message and maybe is it a visual? Like, is there a visual attached to it? Like her face? Is there a way I could
everything.
like maybe alter it and just put like some random other face that might be on like the personnel like manifest at the station and just sort of swap that out for Sister Nura?
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So let's do a
Please
difficulty.
and thank you.
Let's do a difficulty 4 tech test. If you succeed, you'll do it, but it'll be a temporary. It's not gonna deal. Survive serious scrutiny. If you get above a 5, nobody's gonna question it.
Okay. I had 2 shifts on the last one, so I'll put one to glory and then one for like extra info or whatever to sort of split the difference, which I usually do. So it's difficulty 5. Okay, so tries again, and so he just like mutters under his breath to Cravo like flesh begs, and then tries again. And this time he gets 8 successes with 2 shifts possible and another wrath critical. What's up, guys?
What do you want to do with those shifts?
So since it's happening in 30 seconds, I want to do this quicker. So I want to use one for quickness and then maybe one for like effectiveness, just to make it even better. So if that's all right.
You're able, you pull through and you find someone, a station employee that is similar in biometrics to Sister Nora. You spoof her information onto it, and then you scramble it so it looks like somebody else at another station has tried to go in and change it, but it didn't work. And you do it in seconds. And then you see immediately, as you're looking at the alert systems, you see across suspect located lower sections redeploy. And you see all the forces that were coming up here to hunt for Sister Nora move off and head into the lower parts of the station looking for this other individual now.
Okay. And so I think at that, he'll just like look up towards his floating assistant and just kind of do a basic nod and then proceed out and away from wherever he was in this terminal and try to like join back up with like Wigbert and Gavious and such.
Okay.
It's a real Turner and Hooch situation over there, right?
So you move off. You guys now know that there's an auction. You know that there is an invitation to the auction, and you know where it's at. What do you want to do?
So they're cleaning up the site. Are they like moving bodies to a certain area?
They are pulling the hard cases off to one side, and they're segregating out the civilian bodies. It looks like they're either waiting, like I said, for a senior Skitarii officer, probably also med techs that are waiting for to show up, or maybe a biomagos to show up. But they're basically just controlling the site. They haven't really done anything with the bodies other than to confirm that they are not booby trapped in some way.
So we gotta get that data slate. How do we get it without being as stealthy as Sister Nero was?
It's physically on the person.
Yeah,
did I understand correctly?
It's in inner vest pocket, and Gavious was able to pinpoint to all of you which hard case it is because he zoned in on the mind. He's able to identify the body. You see it. It's in this line of body of hard cases.
So, like, I think Birk will turn to like Sister Celeste, like the Sister Hospitaller, and see if like final rites or blessings or something you might be able to, and like in run interference, we can make everyone will pay attention to me, and you
Just
can
drop cover then.
I think at this point, Sister Nora has already, what is the phrase? Screwed the pooch.
I will say this, and you wouldn't necessarily have to say you're a sister hospitaler, but you could go in and let them know that you're a Medicae, and with verification of your medical knowledge, they may give you access to the bodies.
Okay, yeah, I'll go do that then.
Okay, so since Birk is going with you, and he is a member of the Mechanicum, an electro priest, they see the two of you approach, and two of the Skitarii stand up. What can I do for you, brother?
This is a Medicae. She wishes to inspect the bodies.
Offer my assistance.
Whatever the flesh bags decide to do, their rituals and such must be observed, apparently, in the Omnissiah's name.
Indeed. All will go to the corpse starch refinery soon. But if there is something that your Medicae can do, we will allow her access. So all I need from you, Sister Celeste, is give me a difficulty 3 Medicae check. And this is more to show them that you know what you're doing, so they ignore you.
Okay. They're already dead, so they're not dying, right?
Correct. And yeah, they're just a flat Medicae check.
That's weird.
That's not even,
It didn't
even roll
anything. Try it again.
There we go. Okay. So you're going about your business. They watch for a few seconds, and then they turn again and to face out because they're more concerned about the crowd and possible accomplices in the crowd now that they've segregated the bodies and they've verified there are no booby traps. So you're actually very easily able to slip this data pad out of this dead hard case's vest, and you have it. What do you do now?
Okay. And then when she finishes, like she does make a show where she sings like a hymn and performs last rites basically above their bodies, and then gives them a very disrespectful. She also spits at their feet, and and then she turns and nods at Talov, and then nods at the Skitarii as we leave.
They kind of cock their heads like confused dogs for a second. The flesh is weak.
The flesh is weak.
Sorry, sister.
I'm slowly replacing it. You know, she's getting there.
You'll get there.
All right. So now you have, there's an auction on the moon of Odo, and you have the invitation. And as you're able to covertly take a look at the invitation, the auction is tomorrow on the moon of Odo for the stasis coffin and a few other pieces of technology. But this invitation will allow you access to the auction if you can get there. What would you like to do? It is an auction, so...
Call up my contact, get a flight out there, and get some money from him. I mean,
we already got money that we didn't use for the...
Yeah.
Well, you rented a shuttle, so that took the wealth you had, so...
Got it, okay.
And that really worked out well for us. So I think the renting the shuttle thing is definitely the way to go.
That was So, I mean, your shuttle that brought you up here could very well still be here on the station.
Let's see if the Uber driver left. Let's see if we can...
Okay.
Well, I guess the big question is like, do we want... Like, how long would the travel time be from here to Odo? Or Odo, excuse me.
To Odo. I mean, it's about... You figure based on Odo's position at the moment, relative to this station, it's going to take you about 12 hours to make safe moonfall.
Okay, which would leave us a little bit of time.
Yep.
to try to like get this done before the auction transpires.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Possibly.
we should probably leave relatively quickly. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, if there's supplies or something anyone needs, we get them. But I do think we should probably leave pretty quickly.
Okay, now, Gavious, were you going to contact and try to get anything? I mean, this is an opportunity. Like, if you guys are missing equipment or need something, this is like the last opportunity you're going to have to either use your wealth or influence to requisition anything on the station.
I mean, do we need anything? We have
I don't know.
transport,
Do you?
right? We have
Well, you've got to secure your transport still, but more than likely you'll be able to get a shuttle.
I don't.
Yeah. And then it's like, how do we want to play it out when we get there? Do we want to pretend like we're there to auction? And are we going to have stuff that we could...
But weren't we saying we're going to get there before the auction even occurs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get there early. But if it's an auction, we don't have to. We're going there as we can go there as buyers, not necessarily as sellers. Like that makes more sense, right? In the sense that
it's a closed auction. So like the
Yeah.
hard cases are the ones who are selling. They're the
Right.
ones that are holding the auction. But you
So
could
we're just
go as buyers or anything else that you like to do.
Well, what does the invitation that we have propose us as? Does it designate us as...
No, it just allows the bearer and their retinue access to the auction, and it gives you it gives landing coordinates for way out in the desert of Odo. There's this underground bunker, and it gives access and landing location for the auction, and it gives you authority to land in the hangar bay. So it's basically gives you cogitator codes so that you'll be recognized as an official visitor, and then it gives you actual access to the auction itself.
Okay.
Of course, you don't have to. I mean, you don't have to land there in the hangar. You could always land anywhere you want and trek across the desert, or the sky's the limit.
Nura's walking through the crowd, like crunched down, hiding. So if someone wants to
Barrett's
come and
not
tell
telling
her
you.
that,
Derek's not telling you that he saved you.
I'm just following wherever the crowd goes.
He might tell Sister Celeste though, just so they can chuckle together. Look at her.
She
Look at
probably
her move
overheard
around.
when you did it.
Yeah, look at her. It's
So the question
let's
is
see.
like, do we want to go in before and deal with it before the people are there? Or do we want to go in clandestine, like during the actual thing? So, it's
I
kind
mean,
of our
that
decision.
might be best if we went in before, because then if they're scared of these other people already coming in and just taking it from them,
Mhm.
we don't want to have to fight them and whoever else is there to just take it.
Yeah. So
I don't know. What are you guys
So-
thinking?
I think that's good, and then we can. Plus, if we go into the auction, there's people there that don't want us. So that could be an issue as well. So if we get there with less people, the better, right? So, I say we go in all like early and try and deal with it that way.
All right. So you can make your way down into the lower levels of the station where the docking ring is. And you actually do see the shuttle pilot that you had. Captain Adesina is sitting in the bar down there, sipping an Amasec. Just relaxed. Doesn't look drunk, but looks off duty. Let's put it that way.
Would it be okay if we also acquired your services again?
My dear friend, I always love an opportunity to open my shuttle services to returning customers, particularly those who pay in advance. Where would you like to go this day?
And she confirms with the Odos.
Odo. The moon of Odo. That's a pretty short hop. That's not too bad. I could get you there. Am I going to be waiting to bring you home again?
Yes.
Yes, indeed. All right. So, transport for very important returning customers to Odo. waiting for. How long am I going to be sitting on Odo until we're returning? And I'm assuming we're returning here, or am I taking you somewhere else after?
Well, would we want to come here? No, we wouldn't want to come here. We'd want to go back, right?
Well, you do know your mission is to take the stasis coffin back to Archdomina Vakul in the city of Balaxia on Avacris. So that would probably be your ultimate destination.
Okay, yeah. So then that's what she'd list.
All right. So we're going to the moon of Odo from Delta Signovum. I am waiting. How long am I waiting there for you?
Well, depending on how long it takes for us to land, and then what time we have on what time is the auction?
Let's call it 2 days. That's a minimum. You know, we'll just call it 2 days. And if it's going to be more than 2 days, we'll renegotiate costs. So 2 days on Odo, and then a flight back to Balaxia. Will you be bringing cargo with you from Odo? And are you taking cargo with you to Odo?
No cargo to cargo from, yes.
Okay, I'm assuming less than 20 tonnage of cargo coming back.
Yes.
Excellent. Oh, that'll be 4 wealth. 2 for the trip out, 2 for the trip to Balaxia, plus cargo.
All right, give us a moment and I will get that to you.
Excellent. I'll just be here sipping my amasec.
Yeah, and so she is going to. Who are we getting money from?
That V's contact?
Yeah. I mean, he said he's always down for whatever we need, right?
So Inquisitor Wrathborn?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get on the Vox with Wrathborn. What is it now, Acolyte?
I need 4 wealth so we can get to the moon of Odo.
Didn't I just give you a bunch to get you up to that damn Delta Signovum?
That got us to step 1. Now, if you want us to get that coffin, we're gonna need to get a little bit more money. I know it's inconvenient to say the least, but
I don't really give a shit about that coffin. I want to know what the hell is going on with Argyle. But listen, I know the coffin is the next step of the equation. So 4 wealth, you say? Give me an influence test. It's on your gear tab. I will give you a plus 4 dice because you're basically asking for the entire group. So,
okay.
Difficulty 3.
Yep.
And a complication. All right.
You got the 3 at least.
You got it. You
or
got
4.
it. You got it. So, I know what the complication is. Okay, so he's like, all right, I'm going to transfer the wealth to you right now. But this is it. I'm not taking any more money out of the Imperial coffers to front for this mission until I see some results.
You got it.
Okay. So the credits transfer over, and you're able to provide an electronic transfer of funds to the shuttle pilot, Adesina. He's like, hey, that was fast. You guys, I love paying customers. So when are we taking off here?
Why don't we go? Get a head start.
Hey, I love flying tipsy. Everybody get on board. Let's go. We got plenty of time for me to sober up before I have to land. You'll be fine. So you all board the shuttle, and Adesina takes off. For claiming to be mildly intoxicated, it's actually an incredibly smooth takeoff. And he pulls out, you do a slow rotation around the station, you move out into orbit over Avacris, you find yourself sliding into the orbit of Odo about 9 hours later. And you find yourself coming in for a landing approach. He goes, all right, now what are our landing coordinates here? Where am I putting this thing down at?
We have
What hangar?
The hangar or the invitation. We'll give him that.
Okay, so he puts in the information. You guys start coming in, and then across the comms, you hear the Vox beeps to life. Unidentified shuttle. Bear off. This is restricted landing area. Privately owned property. If you continue to approach, you will be gunned down. And you see him pull back a little bit, puts the ship into a stationary hover, and he's like, doesn't look like they want you to land here. You got an alternate location?
Any nearby public hubs?
Nearby?
Or the
No.
desert.
I mean, now listen, putting down in the desert's tough. There's some, you can't even tell where the sinkholes are in this place. But I mean, if you want me to put down in the desert, I will, but I can't guarantee you that I'll still be here when you come back, because if the sand starts to shift, I got to pull out.
Do we have an invitation? Can't we just tell them that we have an invitation?
Give it a shot. Who wants to do the talking?
Not Nura.
I'll let them know. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. Hey, listen. I appreciate there's no auction until later. Guests are not authorized to land until the appointed time. Come back in about 4 hours.
We have nowhere to land.
Not my problem.
You heard the man.
Now, your shuttle pilot, Adesina Tertius goes like, listen, I can put you down in the desert somewhere, and I'll stay as long as things don't shake up too much, but closest I can get you without them recognizing that I've landed the shuttle near is about 5 clicks out. There's that small ridge you see over there. That small ridge, I can land right on the other side of that, but you got about a 5-click walk through the desert. And by the way, no breathable atmosphere out there. So, you definitely got to suit up for it. It's a bit of a haul. Or we can circle and I can land us in 4 hours when they said it's okay. Y'all the
Land on the
paying
ridge.
customers.
Right. Didn't we want to try to figure this out stealth before the thing happened? So we want to get there early. So ridge.
But do we there's no atmosphere. Like, I don't know if we all have. Do we actually have environmental suits?
I don't
Well,
know.
the two sisters are wearing
Yeah.
are wearing full power armor. On the shuttle, I mean, he's got atmospheric suits, in case there's a kind of a hull breach. So I mean, you could basically put a vac suit on. But you're not going to be moving very fluidly.
Right. So, okay, who's our face? Someone needs to get on the radio and needs to make a case. Like we can't all avoid talking. Someone needs to get on the radio and try to convince them that we can land early. Like, hey, sorry, we have a
Has
crappy
talking
shuttle pilot or something like
skills.
that.
Justin.
So it would be a difficulty 5 deception test or a difficulty 4 cunning test, because cunning is like underworld contacts. It's throwing the right slang and stuff. Either
About
way,
leadership.
no.
You've got deception, Gavious.
I got 4 deception. It's not enough.
I think that's probably the highest we might have in the
That's-
party. Just so you know,
Could
we
release
have a
them from
gap.
here?
We need the first person to die to fill.
Could I Jedi mind trick them from here?
No.
Damn.
You can't even see the guy, so no.
I think there's no way Bjerk's getting on this. This is ridiculous. So like either Wigbert or Gavious needs to get on the damn
Yeah, those are the 4
try
deception
to
people
convince.
that we've got.
All right, I guess I'll
it's
have
just
to do some.
you have to it's just
All
this
right.
is what it is. If they shoot
So-
us down, then we just make 5 face characters next time.
Yeah,
So,
I
like I said, difficulty 5 deception, difficulty 4 cunning test. Either way.
Hey, I'll do deception, I guess.
All right.
So just difficulty 5 with the
Difficulty-
4 dice pool though. This is impossible, isn't it?
No, you can get a crit. If you
All right.
get a wrath critical, I'll let you succeed anyway.
And you can always spend a wrath and use a glory
So you got-
and roll an
Or
extra
audience
die.
for rerolls.
You got 4 successes.
Oh my god!
And you can re-roll that 1.
I did. I still got 1.
But you can spend a glory to get an extra die.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
And you've got 3 glories,
this is our
so
like 7th, 8th session.
Forgot about that. The glory is beforehand, so I already did.
I've literally explained
so-
that rule, I think, every single session.
I'll go ahead. Go ahead and
Every
spend the
session.
glory point and get the extra die.
Okay, so I just roll a d6 then.
Yeah, just roll a d6. Okay, so you get on the radio. What do you say to this guy?
I'd love to listen to you, bud, but we're just having a hard time. We're running out of a little bit of fuel here. I was wondering if there's just any way that we could probably sit down a little bit early, get ready for the auction. Even though I do know that it is just a little bit too early, so I apologize for our poor planning. However, if you turn this way, we're in trouble.
Listen, you sweeten the pot. You drop 2 wealth to me now, and I let you land in the hangar. You don't. I let you land in the desert or crash in the desert. I clearly don't give a shit. If you've got the money, put it where your mouth is or land your shuttle wherever the hell you want.
I've tapped the well, guys. Is there someone else we can talk to, maybe?
What is your problem? Spend it. It's just money. You can earn more.
I don't know if I have any more.
I don't think you guys do.
I don't have any.
we need
I
a
don't
rich
think we
face.
all got any money.
Yeah, I don't think we have any. Well,
Is there another
but we can-
contact we can call other than who I've been calling?
I don't know. Is there? I mean, I guess you could try Helene Veronius. You could try Archdomina Vakul, but you're going to have to make promises to these people, and that's if you can get them on the Vox. So, I mean, you could. There's other people you could try.
Well, someone's got to try someone else. Before I go back to that well one last time.
Is gear worth any wealth? Like our items and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And for something you want to offer this guy in trade.
You can offer him the shuttle as well. We do not need it.
No, you're Captain Adesina. Now, listen, friend, I know you're joking about that, because it's my shuttle, and we're not offering my shuttle so that I can land it someplace that they don't want me to land. So,
I
ha,
didn't say-
ha.
I did not say we would give it to them. I said we can offer it to them.
See, now we're getting into issues of piracy and things like that. And listen, I'm a legitimate shuttle pilot. So listen, you want to trade something else for this? You can. My shuttle's not on the table. I'll just fly us back out of here.
Could
Oh,
you spot us 2 of the 4 we gave you, and we can obviously give those 2 back when we
Oh.
get back?
Yeah, that's not how. Have you ever run a business? You want me to give you half of my fee back so you can bribe somebody so I can land my shuttle someplace that I'm getting a feeling I should not be landing at all. You're lucky I don't
Loans
actually
are
just
part of
up my
businesses,
fee.
you know? Loans are
Yeah.
part of businesses.
You could give me a difficulty 5 persuasion check and see if he'll bite.
Can't you just like mind control him and be like, yeah, we'll offer the shuttle? And his head explodes, and then we crash, and then we make 5
Whoops.
face characters who are really
Can I
wealthy.
call Sister Superior?
You could,
Is that
but
an
remember,
option or no?
I mean, it's definitely an option. But remember, this is sort of a secret inquisitorial mission, and you might get questions from your sister superiors to what you're doing and why you need the money. But you're absolutely welcome to try.
Does anyone have anything of value?
I mean, I have the light power armor that I'm currently using that I won't need
That
later.
we rented.
That's a tomorrow problem. So potentially we've got power armor.
What
to
was your
offer
idea? What was
in
your
trade.
thought?
I have stims if that's worth anything.
That would not be worth 2 wealth, but
What
Can
about
we throw things that we've got together
We're
to
all
get?
very broke people. Okay.
Yeah.
what about my Spathian fighting plate?
yeah, that would definitely be worth.
All right, I'll give it.
Okay. He's like, so you're telling me you actually have Spathian flying plate? Were you going to try to auction it here? I mean, what?
I mean,
Listen,
that was
I
a-
don't care. I don't care. When the shuttle lands, you hand that Spathian fighting plate over to me, and I don't give a shit.
You got it.
All right. He says, land, we'll meet you in the landing bay.
I like how like the faces we have to like deal with people is either a homicidal robot, a guy who's missing half of his body because it was blown off, a psycho who likes to be in a crab stance, and two nuns that don't know how to talk to people.
That's fair. That's fair. That about sums it up.
I can
This is-
heal.
this
I
is-
don't need a bedside manner to bring you back to life.
Hey,
Okay.
you're right.
No
You're
problem.
right.
So Captain
I can
Adesina brings
intimidate people, but that's about it. Like I
he is
can't-
terrifying. Very
can't
terrifying.
communicate with them particularly well.
Brings the shuttle in, it lands. Bay's open, it comes in for a landing. Pilot lands it perfectly. And you look around, and there's actually two other shuttles that are already here as well. Outside the shuttle bay, you see a group of hard cases, about a dozen of them. And one guy kind of motions for you guys to come on out.
We'll exit.
Yep.
Hey, Spathian fighting plate, please.
Here you go.
He takes it. He's like, God damn, this is the best day of my life. And he's like, all right, listen, we're not ready for the auction yet. We haven't put out anything, but the drinks are out there. The bar is out there. A couple of the other groups made arrangements to show up. But listen, you can look at the silent auction things. If you want to put money down on anything that for the silent auction, you can. The piece de resistance, that's going to be a live auction, but that is going to be for a while. So you mingle, don't cause trouble, and welcome. And he takes the Spathian fighting plate, goes back slips off into some corridors, and then the interior hangar doors open, and you see these other hard cases. Like, yeah, go on in. Like you said, some other people showed up a little early too. They had special permission to come in, but feel free to browse around. Somebody give me everybody can give me an awareness check.
Is there a difficulty on it, or is it just gonna
Just give me just any flat
okay,
roll.
just straight up. Okay.
0 successes for Nura.
Okay. Not aware, Nura, not super aware.
5 successes and a critical for
Nice. Okay.
What's up, guy? I don't
So-
understand why all of you are having problems. I don't understand. I just roll a critical.
I don't get it either.
I've
It's so
got
much easier. So much
one
easier
eye.
to do that.
So for anybody who got over 2 successes,
I got 6.
oh my god. So you and Talif, everybody who got over 2, you recognize that the hard cases are a little jittery. They're not real comfortable. Those of you who got wrath criticals and 5 or 6 successes, you can literally smell the terror wafting off of these people. They are, as I said earlier, they are low-rung tech gangers, and they know they're in over their heads. And as much as they are trying to come off as tough badasses, they are petrified. But they're a gang, so they're trying to keep their street cred high. So they usher you on in. And Jeff, at this point, if you want to show that to everybody.
Can I spend, because I have 1 shift possible, can I spend my extra to get more, my shift to get some more information?
Absolutely. What do you want to know?
Well, so I think generally, because we see that the tech gangers are here, but there's also other groups. Can I get some info on them, like who might be the most threatening, or if there's something about them that might stand out, anything like that?
Sure. So as you walk in, you see that there's 5 distinct groups of potential bidders, you think. What really sticks out to you is up here in the north central section. You see a group of 5, looks like mercenaries in ballistic armor. But what really triggers for you is you see a frumpy overcoat. Well, its back is to you, and seems to be talking to the others that are here with him. That individual looks very relaxed. Now, over nearest the desert entrance in the northwest, you do see a group of Alderi raiders. And somebody dressed much like you. It looks like a Drukari, just wearing pants. His entire body is covered in these like tribal tattoos, and he's sweating profusely. And then some of the other groups are kind of hidden in shadow and darkness. You're gonna have to mingle a little bit more, but those 2 areas kind of stick out. And then directly north of where you're at, as you come out of the hangar entrance, you see up in this northeast corner, you see the stasis coffin, plugged into some generators that don't look like they're doing too well. And you immediately recognize the technician, Amiga, who was taken from the tech crypt, and he is frantically working with the stasis coffin. That's what you notice when you get in.
Okay. I will convey all that, obviously, succinctly, with no follow-up questions allowed. I think the coat, is that the investigator guy?
You believe that is the criminal investigator Loxon.
Okay. So I'll point it out to Celeste and say that is the unfortunate one we had to face and discuss far too many things inefficiently with. And so I think what Birk might pose to the group, I will speak with this adept. We'll see if I can learn anything and render assistance on the stasis coffin. He seems to be struggling.
Okay, so Birk is going to head up that way. What are the rest of you going to do?
I'll find the heretics. I'll wander around, talk to random people, see what their vibe is.
Okay. I like it. I like it. How about Sister Celeste, Sister Nura, and Veronius? I'm gonna let you guys tell me what you're gonna do, and then I'll position you, and then we'll go one by one, and we'll talk.
Is it possible for me to kind of like reach out and just kind of see like if there's any like other psyker users or something like that, just to kind of sense something that's off psychically?
Yeah. It's I think it's the prescience skill. Do you have that? You should. It's a standard skill for all psychics. So if you just give me a psychic mastery test, difficulty 3.
Okay.
And a wrath critical. Okay. Yes. In fact, as soon as your wave of telepathic energy comes off, it immediately gets rebuffed, and you see this group turn as one. I mean, it's just really eerie. This entire group of about 10 people turn as one, and one individual eyes, they're staring right at you. And then each one, in different voices, says, "What is your purpose in trying to touch our minds?"
I'll just say, I was just thinking if there were any others touched by the warp here.
Keep your mind to yourself.
Sure.
So, Birk, we'll start with you. You head up and you see this adept, Baron Amiga, and he is frantically working on the coffin. And he hears you coming up behind him. He's like, I don't have time. I've got to keep working.
Yes, I can see that. And you are doing so inefficiently. I can assist and ensure.
He turns and he looks at you. He's like, "Oh, brother, thank you. Please help me."
Yes.
The whole status field is shutting down. This coffin has been disconnected from stationary power for too long. It's gonna pop. I can't keep the containment field and these idiots won't Give me a stable power source. You gotta help me. We can't let what's in here out.
I see. I understand. I shall attempt to strengthen the containment field. What is it that might happen? What is inside of this? What is draining this so steadily?
I don't know exactly, but it's a monster. That's what they told me, that it's a monster. And,
I see.
And I was told that if this coffin ever opens, that literally millions across the Gilead system could die. Whatever we do, we can't. That's why I came with this coffin. When they came and they killed everyone, and I begged them not to kill me. I told them that the coffin would everything would be destroyed if I didn't come with it. But we can't let this thing out.
I see. You have remained true to your duty, to Leon Messiah. I shall assist you. And he will see if he can figure out any way to maybe get to stabilize some of the power, the power exchange, or to reinforce the containment field. Anything he might be able to do that he hasn't already picked up, that Baron Amiga hasn't already picked up on. Is there anything that can be done?
Sure. Give me a difficulty 5 tech test.
Okie doke. All right. And I've got my Haster Cravo with me. Difficulty 5, you said?
Difficulty 5.
All right. Here we go. I will go ahead and spend a Wrath and a Glory to re-roll. So I'll spend the Wrath and I'll roll an extra d6 for the Glory. Nice. And then an extra d6. So I'm up to 8 successes with 1 shift possible. And my shift, I would like, if it's possible, extra information. If during the process of this, can I glean any information about what actually is inside? If there's any possible way.
Sure. With 8 successes, I mean, that's way more than you needed. You're able to figure out that you can, there's a power trunk near where the stasis coffin is that will actually, you can tap into that. And that's powering the main defensive batteries at this underground. So you'll be able to slice in and draw power off of that to stabilize it. And as you're doing it, you're looking at the cogitator, the onboard cogitator for the stasis coffin, and the biometrics. You realize there's something alive in the stasis coffin, and the biometrics are reading very odd. There appears to be multiple heartbeats within this single body, many redundant organ systems going on, some organs that are not normally found in a human. Give me a difficulty 3 Medicaid test.
Medicaid. Okay. I know nothing about Medicaid, but I do have 4 ints, so I will go ahead and give that a go.
Aaron, would you say this thing has 2 hearts, 3 lungs, has the ability to spit acid? You say stuff like that?
Could be. Oh my god.
That's a nothing. I'm gonna hold on to my wrath though.
What happened to all your luck, Byrrc?
We've got audience if you want to do some rerolls of individual dice along there.
I need 4 successes, so that's only gonna at most give me 2 successes, so I'm not gonna get there. Yeah. So I would save it for something that I might be able to pass. Actually,
you're not 100% sure what's in this coffin, but you know that whatever it is a single biological entity that does not conform to any humanoid life that you're aware of or that you can recall.
Gotcha. Can I, once I feel that I have gotten a grasp of the power, the sort of siphoning off the energy from the trunk, once I feel like everything's okay, can I send Hester Cravo off to find Sister Celeste? Because I don't want to do comms. I'd rather it be more direct. Mm-hmm. Can I send him off to debrief Sister Celeste, and so that she knows, and maybe she might be able to.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So, Servo Skull comes off out to Sister Celeste. What does he say to her?
I think he will. He'll say something along the lines of Brother Talif has collected data on the occupants of the stasis coffin. Characteristics include, and then we'll list them. We'll mention that has stabilized the containment of this coffin, but how to extricate the coffin is still, currently indeterminate.
Okay. Sister Celeste, give me a Medicaid check. Let's see if you recognize what this is. Oh, yeah. You immediately think, this is Adeptus Astartes. This is a space marine
Oh.
in the stasis coffin.
What does that mean to me, though?
A combat demigod, and on an individual basis at full power, capable of defeating hundreds of individuals in single combat.
Okay, so we want to keep him asleep in there.
What are we doing here?
So, Sister Celeste is talking to the Servo Skull. Wigbert, Han, you move off to talk to some of these others. You find a group clustered sort of near the stasis coffin, around a half-broken table. The gang is dressed in thick, rough Gork's leathers, and they're all openly wearing very primitive weapons. Give me a difficulty 3 awareness test.
Okay. Got a 2.
You want to wrath that?
Yeah, I'll wrath it. Got something to spend. I just added a complication to it.
All right. Okay. So, you don't really. There's something off, but you don't quite know what it is. But as you're staring at them, one of them breaks off and comes over towards you, and you see it's this woman. She's completely bald, pale white, almost albino white, and she just fixes her eyes on you in this unblinking glare. And she goes, I see that you are interested in us. I am Tetrita. Why do you want to bother our reverence for this?
Want to know what you're looking to buy. Scope the competition.
Ah, so you're simply a petty collector. We are true devotees of the true gods, not the corpse king on his golden throne, but the changer of ways. And we know that once we have secured this stasis coffin, we will be able to release our dark messiah. He shall be resurrected, and we shall be his loyal servants.
I hope I'm there to see it happen.
All right. Give me a conviction test.
Next conviction.
It's under combat.
This was on open comms. I'd like to think all of us are like, Wigbert's a heretic?
Difficulty 4, conviction test.
Okay. Corruption or mutation? Conviction roll. Wait, what is the conviction test?
Oh, sorry. You should be able to roll that. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I'll just tell you what to roll.
Yeah, like convictions, I think isn't what we use to mitigate shock or something like that.
Oh, am I thinking?
Oh no! It's under the combat tab, Wigbert. On the right hand side of the combat tab, there is mutations category and convictions the top of it. And you should be able to click on the word.
Yeah, when I click it, it's the option of corruption or mutation.
Oh yeah. I don't know about that part.
Yeah, it's
Like corruption.
I don't know why that is not rolling. Let me.
I'm gonna test it, see what happens.
Just do a willpower test, because your conviction is equal to your willpower.
Okay.
Aaron, does the coffin have a little window you can see through?
No, it does not.
Damn it.
You got a wrath
only 3.
critical, but you only got 3 successes. So you take 1 point of corruption as you hear these heretics blaspheme against the emperor, and take no action against it. You feel your guts kind of twist and churn as you hold to the mission, but recognize true chaos cultists in your midst. At that point, Sister Nora, Sister Celeste, or V, what would you like to do?
So Sister Nura is wanting to kind of scope the area out, see what might be some good tactical advantage points, assuming this is going to be a battlefield at some point. So she's doing the things that she's good at, which is not talking to people, but planning ahead for battle.
Okay, give me a difficulty 3 survival check, or investigation.
Definitely survival and not investigation. Difficulty 3. That's 2 successes, so I will spend a wrath to do a reroll. I've got 4 dice that I'm working with, so let's see how that goes. 3 successes and a wrath critical.
Oh, nice. Okay, so looking at the layout of this area and how, I mean, it's a fairly large area, but it's closed off with one entrance heading out into the desert. And that's near where the Aldari Corsairs are. And then one entrance going back into the hangar bay. But with the sheer number of people in here, all armed, and all of them clearly on edge, you believe that if things simply cooked off at this point without any mitigating factors, it would be an absolute bloodbath. And anyone surviving would be a toss of the coin. You think that the only way to get any kind of tactical advantage would be to either ally with other groups, separate some of them off, or form a large enough distraction that would pull some people off. But if it goes to a free-for-all, odds are some of you are not going to make it out of here.
If I reach out with... Sorry, go ahead. Good. You're good.
Would there be a way for her to get kind of outside and see about kind of that other desert entrance?
Yeah, you can walk out the desert entrance. You walk by, as you're walking by the Aldari Raiders, the obvious leader looks up at you. Monkey, are you here for the auction?
Well, I do believe that's the only reason why any of us would be in this particular hangar on this particular day. Am I right?
As he gets close, I mean, sweat is pouring off of his body, and his eyes, like the pupils of his eyes are just like pinpricks. And he's like, I am Captain Kask. You might as well leave. You do not have what it takes to win this auction. And whatever is in that stasis coffin, well, I will take it back to the Dark City, and it will be an amazing offering for the gladiatorial games. So, Monkey, take your friends and leave. But give me a scholar check while you're walking by.
All right, not the worst thing that Nora's got. That is 3 successes.
As you're walking by, you see what they've got to offer. And you see incredibly exquisite and rare imperial artworks, and exquisite jewelry. You would estimate this is probably 8 wealth worth of stolen imperial goods. All right, Monkey, go out to the desert. You cannot survive in the desert. You are not like the Aldari. But go, Monkey.
And Nora's takes a front but doesn't respond. She's seen what she needs to see. And she is overly non-verbally gracious as she turns on her heel and walks outside.
And you hear laughter from these Aldari as you walk away. All right, V, Sister Celeste.
If I do anything telepathically, will those people only react to me because I sent out a ping, or will they react to me no matter what I do? That's my question.
It depends on what power you activate.
So if I did a mind probe one-on-one with somebody, would that?
It's possible. It would just depend on the role.
If I get closer to the coffin, and it's a much closer vicinity, and it's like a tighter little space, would that lessen the chance of me being caught?
Yeah.
So, is there a way that I could get Byrrc's attention to have me come up there as I'm assisting with the situation?
Yeah, I mean, you could click on your comms. I'm assuming you guys have some sort of, coded nonverbal communication.
So I tell him, like, make some type of excuse to get me up there close. I want to get close to this coffin.
Okay.
So
then Byrrc will say to the tech adept as you approach, "Do not be alarmed. This flesh bag is my assistant. He will be recycled soon. But before we do so, he wishes to serve me. He has a very perverse understanding of the motive force. Do not be alarmed, brother."
As you wish. Thank you so much for helping. We might actually get out of this alive.
Can I place my hand?
The odds of us succeeding at this are exceedingly slim. More than likely, 75% of the individuals that you currently see within your vision will be obliterated. But this is good, for they will contribute to the growth and the power of the Messiah.
Do you say that while staring directly at me?
Yes. And I like to think that maybe that lets me finish off my my objective as to
I think so.
calculating the odds. Yeah.
Yep. Well played. Well played.
He did it, everybody. I'm gonna put my hand on the coffin and try to see who is this being inside.
All right. So you're doing a mind probe?
Yes.
And that's your willpower against his willpower?
Yeah, and it's the Stardies. I wouldn't hope that they don't have that high willpower.
Oh, God, no. All right.
Before I do this, does anyone have any objections to this idea?
I think it's lovely. No,
Before shit pops off.
Do it.
it'll be fine.
Do it, man.
Go for it.
Throw the match on the giant
can I-
gasoline tank. I'm happy for it. Let's do it.
Can I explain my reasoning before I do this? So we can come to a decision. If it's a good loyalist, it could be to our advantage, right?
Mhm.
If shit pops off. So my thought is to see what it is to determine whether or not we even want to screw with that situation. So before I do this and ruin whatever might happen, does anyone object to this idea?
Go for it.
Nope.
You had an idea of something fun to do? Go do it.
Oh, shit. Why did I make this decision?
I think you
Alright.
should do it because I think Byrrc would if it goes wrong, Byrrc will enjoy being.
I feel like I should have taken
front
my
row
turn
to it.
first.
I'll wait for a moment while Sister Celeste does what she wants to do.
Before we
Okay.
put fire on this shit.
So we see V walking up towards the stasis
Yeah.
coffin. Sister Celeste,
Meanwhile-
what do you do? What are you doing?
Meanwhile, I'm heading up to Chattabloxum.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
I'm going to speak to Loxum.
Okay, fantastic. So you walk over, and as right as you're getting close, he turns and smiles. He's like, "Oh, Janet, right? It was Janet, right? Sister Janet? Oh no,
She
it was just Janet.
Honestly, I've lost track. How are you?
I have to tell you, this is not where I was expecting it. The missus was making a pot roast, and I was so looking forward to it. I really
Oh.
thought to myself, this is going to be a delicious dinner. And then, do you know what I heard? What happened? You're not going to believe this. there was an attack on the space elevator. You remember that space elevator that
We were in
that
line
you
for?
guys were in line for?
Yeah.
A horrible group of tech gangers opened fire on that, thinking there was Imperial agents on it. It's shocking. Shocking. I was shocked. So I said to my wife, I said, you're going to have to put the pot roast on the back burner because I have to go look into this. Because, I detect. That's what I do. And I go down there. I go talk to the people at the space. And I think to myself, if I was a tech ganger getting on a space elevator, well, I had to come from somewhere, right? So I look and I see, well, they got red arms. They got to be hard cases. And I go, well, those hard cases, they like to hang out at a place called the Tune Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what have you been to the Tune Up?
No, I haven't. But
it's a very interesting place. I'm here to tell you, Sister Janet. So I go down to the Tune Up, and I meet this archaeotech chirurgeon down there. Goes by the name of Skriner. He's the owner of the Tune Up. And I say to him, I say, friend, I hear the hard cases, they got messed up on a space elevator, and I'd hate to see some of that blow back on you. So maybe you know something. And you know what? He knew something. He did. He knew that there was going to be an auction for some missing good. Do you remember when we were talking and I said that I thought that Archdomina Extra Vakul might have lost something and that she might be looking for it? And you said to me, I don't know. That doesn't sound
I technically didn't say anything.
That's
I'd
true.
rather not lie, but I did lie by omission.
That's
Apologies.
true. That's true, Sister Janet. That's okay. Well, regardless, he said that yes, they were auctioning that off on Odo. And I said to him, I say, Skriner, my new friend, I would very much like to be at that auction. And so he gives me an invitation. And so I tell my wife, I'm like, go ahead and eat the pot roast because I'm going to be gone for a day. So then I get on a shuttle and I come up to Odo and I land. And you know what? They did not want me to land. They were like, no, you can't come in here too early. And I said, well, we came to an accord. And so here we are. And you know what surprises me? Not at all, is that you're here too.
Yep.
We seem to keep running into one another. It's very interesting.
It seems our goals align.
Well, do they? I would love to think that they do, Sister Janet. I would love to think that they do. But do they?
We need to keep this in the hands of the Inquisition.
Oh. So you work for the Inquisition, do you? Sister Janet.
Maybe. And she just winks.
And he goes, so if let's just do a hypothetical here then. So if you work for the Inquisition, like you're saying you work for the Inquisition, what Inquisitor might you work for? Oh yes, the Inquisition's very much the right word, depending on circumstances.
Imperium. That's what Ashley meant to say.
Oh, the Imperium. Oh.
Yes, sorry.
Well, wind it back. Oh yeah, Imperium. Well, of course I'd like to keep all of this in the Imperium's hands, but there are lots of factions within the Imperium, Sister Janet, and I don't know that your faction and my faction are working hand in hand together. So, you see, I've got a job to do, and I have a feeling your job may be at cross purposes, because from what I'm hearing from you, Sister Janet, is not a lot except for malarkey. Pardon me. I'm hungry. I did not get my pot roast, so I'm a little on edge.
That's fair.
What do you think about that, Sister Janet?
Do you know what's inside?
Inside that stasis coffin? No, I do not. I'm very interested. I'm very intrigued. That's why I'm here. Obviously, there are a lot of people who want that stasis coffin, including Archdomina Vakul, and there might be other parties invested in it. Maybe other parties that had given it over to Archdomina Vakul for safekeeping, which clearly it was not kept safe, but who's to say? I mean, if somebody were to lay their cards out on the table for me, I might be able to pick them up and shuffle them into my deck. I don't know. Now let's cut over to V.
Oh no. Why? Oh no. Why did I make these decisions?
Because it's fun.
I know,
Just do
but
it, you
fun.
chicken shit. Just
this
do
is
it.
I'm throwing a stick of dynamite possibly.
But that's
That's true.
fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
Look what happened to
absolutely.
Doc Arts and Lost. It was really fun. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm just
wait.
making
Wait a
it.
minute.
No,
Wait.
just
It
pull
wasn't fun
random.
for him, Jeff. He blowed up.
But it was fun for people who were watching.
It's true. It's true.
There
The
you go.
nitroglycerin.
Mhm.
I'm gonna Vox Janet.
Oh gosh, you're such a chicken shit.
I don't want to ruin it for everybody. Are we making any headway with your little talkative friend down there?
He wants us to lay the cards out, and like I presume I'm not actually saying this. I'm like messaging this to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Before I pop this top, it might be within your best interest to call. Laying hands out, call, give them the cards. That type of.
I don't gamble.
And on that note, as we find out the Sister Celeste / Janet does not gamble, Sister Nura / Chrissy, you open these doors and you are in the desert. Your power, the vacuum seals of your power armor tighten down. You feel the forced oxygen being pumped into your helmet, and you see the blasted landscape all around you. What would you like to do?
Well, she wants to see if anybody else is like skulking out here. If like everybody seems to be in and kind of showing their numbers, or if somebody has some kind of extra numbers that are out here, kind of waiting in the wings for things. And she wants to kind of go north and west to get herself to the other entrance back in.
Okay, give me an awareness test.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna give this a shot, and then
You're
3
good, you're good.
successes.
So you look around. The terrain around here is very flat, and you do not see anyone or anything that could even possibly be hidden forces around the desert area. The wind is blowing incredibly hard. The temperature is just devastating. I mean, even in your power armor, you feel a slight chill. This is incredibly inhospitable terrain. Give me a difficulty 3 survival check.
Okay. 2 successes, so I am going to take a glory and a brass to add another dice to that.
Okay.
All right, 3
All right.
successes.
Looking around, based on the air temperature, the wind, the amount of blowing sand, the size of the hangar bay in this area, you have a feeling it'll take you about an hour to track around to the hangar if you want to go that route.
Oh, dear. Okay. I'll go. So I'll just do kind of a little bit in each direction off of the, off of that entrance. Make sure that I don't see anything, and then I'll go back in.
Okay, sounds good. We slide back to Wigbert. Wigbert, your guts are still churning over the heresy you've heard. What would you like to do now?
Is there any other groups that we haven't spoken to?
Well, there's that weird group that turned and confronted V that nobody's really talked to. But even as you turn to scan the area, another group enters in through the hangar, and it's a motley crew. You see an Ogren with just basically like a tank top on and suspenders, carrying a big auto rifle, and on his shoulder is a Ratling, and the two of them seem to be arguing. And he's got about a half a dozen other gang members with him, but they're in some sort of furious conversation in low Gothic. Everybody else you've kind of scoped out already.
I can eavesdrop on their conversation, try to get what
Okay,
they're
so
bickering about.
you get a little closer. Give me a we'll call it a stealth check.
An 8.
Oh yeah, you're good. So the ratling says, "Listen, Lynn, I don't like it here any more than the rest of you. I mean, look at the people that we're mixing up with. These are some low-rate, low-rank bastards. But a job is a job, and we got paid to bid on this stasis coffin, whatever the hell that is, and we're gonna do our job because that's what we're getting paid for." The ogre he goes, "Listen, Raku, I don't think we're gonna get out of this. Look at these people. If things go bad, you duck behind my shoulders and I'll carve us away back to the shuttle." All right, Lynn, all right. Don't worry about it. Listen, if we don't got the funds to buy the coffin, we get outbid, we just turn around and walk out at that point. But let's see what else they got for auction. Come on. We're here. We don't get to come to Odo that often. All right, Raku. But be careful. That's what you hear.
See if I can close in on them and ask them if they're believers or not.
Oh. You say believers? Believers in what? Oh, and by the way, sorry, I'm so sorry. My name's Rocco. Independent businessman and entrepreneur, most recently out of Evacris.
Rocco. My name is Wigbert.
Wigbert, it is a pleasure to meet you. This is my best friend and associate, Lynn. And the ogre just looks at you and almost looks bashful and just sort of nods his head. The rest of this gang around you, they're in mixed different clothes. Some of them in partial armor. You see some auto pistols, but nothing uniform.
Scoped out the room. There's quite a few ruffians here. Are you one from mankind?
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, both Lynn and I, we served. We were, we were guardsmen for a while, before we got mustered out.
We are the same.
Excellent. I'm so happy to hear that. Hey, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. We got paid by somebody to come up here and bid on that stasis coffin. That's it. It's just a job for us.
We'll see if you can win it.
Oh, I'm going to be honest. I'm looking around at these other people here, and there's no way in hell we're winning that thing. The person who's backing us, his pockets are not deep enough for this crowd. I don't think he thought that the hard cases could pull in people like, that's that goddamn Drukari pirate. There ain't no way I've got wealth up equal to him. So yeah, but we'll be here. We'll bid in good faith, and we lose, we walk away. It's no skin off our teeth. We got paid in advance to come up here and do it.
When I ask who's paying you?
That's that's like a kiss and tell kind of situation. It's confidential. Like if you went in to one of the great chapels to pray to our Father on the holy throne, on the golden throne, in confidence to one of his ministerial priests, you wouldn't want him talking out about your stuff, unless it was to, of course, the Inquisition or something like that. But so I keep the same confidence in my clients as if I was a ministerial priest talking to you. So I can't really divulge that information, but it was, I appreciate the question. Who do you represent here? Who are you? Who are you been, or are you been for yourself?
Just for myself, yes.
Ah, I hope you got some deep pockets, because I'm looking at this crowd and I see a lot of wealth floating around in this room, and sadly none of it's going to find its way in my pockets, I think. But
I'll leave him be.
All right, Sister Nora, you've scouted the entire area. There is nothing out here. You make your way back in. Desert inner airlock opens and shuts, lets you in. Your seals on your power armor loosen up. You're able to filter in the air from inside, and you see the Drukari lounging against the wall. He's like, "Decide to come back in, monkey? Too tough out there for you, monkey?"
So this is sort of a meta question here.
Mhm.
Like of the groups that we see here, who would be most interested if I were to rat out their stolen art that they have? Like who here might care if I'm trying to be political about this?
Yeah, give me a difficulty 3 cunning test.
That is a 2 successful. Yeah.
Okay. You're looking around, and you're like, you would think of all the groups here, it would probably be that first group that Wigbert talked to with the bald woman, the pale features. She looks devout. She kind of has the look of maybe a Ministorum person, perhaps in disguise. They might be she might be the person most interested in stolen antiquities.
So then
All
that's
right.
what Nura would do. So Nura would kind of, again, just kind of stoic with this individual kind of throwing insults her way. She is making note that if there is a time for holy fire, that individual will be the first to get it.
Okay.
And so then she will kind of wander over to the woman with the shaved head.
She turns and looks at you, unblinking.
They
What is it you want?
They seem to invite anyone over here, even those foul-mouthed ones over by the door.
Ah, they will fall in time to the great queen of hunger, to Slanesh, the lover, the luster, the great defiler of flesh.
Indeed, that like she just.
Okay, give me a willpower test.
Sure.
Melissa, do you remember who Slanesh is?
No, I don't.
You want to explain this to Melissa who Slanesh is?
So Slanesh is the hermaphroditic chaos god who is responsible for the absolute corruption of the Eldari
Remember
race.
the ones we found with all the mouths on their nipples?
Yes, mouths on
Yeah.
the nipples. And
They were infected.
Yeah.
that kind.
So, Slanesh worshiper.
Or this person actually appears to be an adherent of all the chaos gods because they were also
even worse.
espouting the changer of ways. So you hear this, Sister Nora, and as it seeps into your consciousness, it begins to erode and eat at your spiritual well-being. You take 3 points of corruption.
Good deal.
Celeste, you've heard the message from V. What would you like to do?
Do I fuck. Yeah, she'll I think Celeste will recognize the dire kind of situation that we're in. Seeing all these different groups, and she knows we need allies. So at this point, she doesn't care anymore. She's gonna, especially now that she knows what's in the coffin, she's gonna. I am assisting Inquisitor Wrathborn.
Inquisitor Wrathborn, you say? That's a name I haven't heard for some time. And how might you be assisting Inquisitor Wrathborn, Sister Janet?
Attempting to get this coffin out of the hands of these heretics.
And what foretell is Inquisitor Rathbone's interest in this stasis coffin?
Ah. And she'll like rattle off some of what we've learned with the a smuggling ring and stuff, especially what she's been researching.
Well, Janet. I'm assuming that Janet is your real name, Janet?
You can drop it. You know I'm Celeste.
Yes, Sister Celeste. I had heard that a couple of sisters might be working a particular angle here.
Being here makes my skin crawl.
That's fair. That's fair. So, for transparency's sake, let me spin a yarn for you. Let's say that there was another Inquisitor. Let's say his name was Argyle. Let's say Inquisitor Argyle had this stasis coffin that he didn't know anything about, and he didn't have time to deal with it. So he entrusted it into the care of, let's say, Archdomina Vakul, and said, keep this secure. I'm going to want it back eventually so we can figure out whatever's inside it. You hear where I'm coming from. You understand where I'm coming from. Is that it? You got me so far, Sister Celeste?
I'm following, yes.
Are you following my breadcrumbs?
Yes.
Okay, so we have that Inquisitor Argyle. He hears through some sources that his stasis coffin has gone missing. And he thinks to himself, well, that can't be, because Archdomina Vakul has not come to me and said, by the way, your stasis coffin has gone missing. Now, if something like that would happen to an Inquisitor, I mean, he would be well within his rights to, ring holy fire down upon Avacris if he so choose. I mean, that's correct, right, Sister Celeste?
Heretics will do.
Let's say you accept that he could do that if he wanted, but let's say that he wanted to be more discreet. So let's say that he asked perhaps one of his trusted senior interrogators to take a team to find out what happened to his stasis coffin. And let's say that Inquisitor had been operating, watching, and been trailing you since all of the calamities that have happened in and around your group, in a way to find the stasis coffin. And let's say that I am that interrogator, and let's say that I represent Inquisitor Argyle, and let's say that we find ourselves here in a crossroads. Now, all I want is for that stasis coffin to get back to Inquisitor Argyle. All you want is for that stasis coffin, from what I'm understanding, is to get back to Archdomina Vakul. That's what your mission is, right?
Yes.
Well, let's just say that perhaps we can come to an arrangement where I was never here, where I didn't see anything, where that coffin gets back to Vakul, she turns it back to Argyle, and all of our problems are solved. As long as, and I keep my lips sealed about this, as long as you understand that I'm going to come for you for a favor at some point that you're not going to be able to say no to. Inquisitor Argyle is going to have something he's going to need from you. And when he needs it, you're going to say yes. Or, I outbid everybody here. I take the stasis coffin. I take it back to Inquisitor Argyle. I tell him exactly what's happened. And your entire mission fails. What do you think?
I can owe a favor in the name of the Emperor.
That's right, because we're all work for the Emperor.
And she'll put a hand out to shake on it.
He puts his hand out. He's like, sister, I'm here to tell you, it's great doing business with a hospitaler. You're always such level-headed. So level-headed. I respect that.
Thank you.
So as Sister Celeste and Inquisitor Loxon shake hands, V, Wigbert, Nura, Beric, what do you want to do?
I would like to probe whatever's in the coffin.
I love it. Give me a willpower check against their willpower, and let's see what happens. Five successes and a Wrath critical. That's pretty good.
Do you want to roll for some more there, just in case, Justin?
Wrath it up.
There he goes. Got another one there.
Nice, 6 successes.
Customarily, Justin, you should speak whatever it is you rolled, so that the people who can't see the dice, like those who are watching in stream,
I'm very nervous.
No,
And I will spend a point of rune to re-roll my failures. 14 successes and a Wrath complication. So what's it look like when you reach out to the mind in this?
I just push in and just want to have an idea of the mindset of the man that is inside of this coffin.
Okay. So you reach out and you push into this mind, and as you do, it's very opening and inviting. And as you slip into this mind, you feel almost like tongues of fire and brimstone wrap around your thoughts, and these tentacles reach out and pull at your mind, shredding and shredding and shredding. And you realize that this entombed champion, this Adeptus Astartes, is an ancient chaos space marine, and you just woke it up. Take 5 points of corruption.
Justin's so mad that he was right.
And
Do it.
the lid of the stasis coffin explodes off. Birk, give me a athletics check, difficulty 3. V, give me an athletics check, difficulty 5.
Oh my god.
I
Okay.
will.
Tell if you're good.
I'm gonna wrath it up. Oh wait, difficulty 3. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I was
Difficulty 3
that's
for you,
fine.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm good. Sorry, 4 successes.
To use a point of glory beforehand, right? For
When you go to re-roll, you can
Okay.
then spend a point of wrath and a point of glory to get an extra die and re-roll your failed dice.
Aaron,
Alright,
I think you should start penalizing when people ask what that rule is from now on. Just take dice away from them.
it doesn't matter. I'm so screwed.
Yeah. So V, as to the shrapnel from the top of the stasis coffin shreds outward, you take 2 wounds as you're unable to get out of the way. Birk, you see this tech adept that was helping you basically gets crushed by the lid as it pops off. And what you see beginning, what staggers out, as because all the steam and condensed coolant is wafting off of this being as he begins to come out. And let me tell you a little bit. Where is that description? He's wearing black and scarlet armor, and the iconography on it is so horrific that it makes your guts churn, makes you feel like you want to throw up. He reaches down and pulls out this giant welding tool that was just on the ground next to the stasis coffin. He's staggering. And he looks like he isn't completely all there yet, but he stands at least 9 feet tall in his power armor. And you know, as you stare at him, that if he escapes, or if the cultists that wanted to free him escape with him, the Gilead system in its entirety may fall before this chaos champion. And that is where we're going to unexpectedly end it tonight, because God knows I didn't expect you to open the coffin.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Nice job, B. Nice job.
Why'd you do that? Jesus.
I know, that was such a dumb idea.
Messaging us, guys.
We
Should
told
I
you not to do it. Why'd you do it?
I don't understand.
I
To
think
be
this is
fair.
a bad idea.
There was a whole lot of chat saying, "Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. You
Well,
should
we
do
didn't
it."
think he was going to roll like so bad. We thought he'd roll better.
So in 2 weeks, we'll see if our team of Inquisitorial agents are capable of taking out this Chaos Champion
Jesus
before
Christ, no.
before it gets his full senses back and is able to really start to get jiggy with it.
Which core book has Ogrins in it that I'm going to make next? Which one is it?
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. I just wanna
I
make
am
sure.
going to, once Talib does, I'm making a face character and I'm going to have all the fellowship. It's going to be crazy.
All of the fellowship.
All of it.
All of it. And so as we close down in that scene of utter chaos and absolute terror, we'll come back in 2 weeks. We'll roll for some more corruption. I'm going to check out the corruption rules because I think we may be getting into mutation territory here for some people.
I was reading
soon.
them.
And then we'll see if this mighty warband, Inquisitorial warband, has the chops to deal with this problem. Unexpected. Honestly thought this was going to be a talk your way out of it, buy the stasis coffin and walk away with a successful mission. But we've decided to go a different direction. So that's all I've got for me. I'm going to turn it back over to Jeff, and we'll see if the next wonderful Lollygagger show does not end in a TPK.
It's funny that you mention it because tomorrow, Call of Cthulhu Eternal Lies, we are right smack dab at the finale of Los Angeles. So, as anyone knows anything about Call of Cthulhu, finales of different chapters are usually pretty dangerous. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what could happen. I mean, there was definitely not going to be a Chaos Space Marine, but there could be something. We'll see. But that's tomorrow, so come back for that. Monday, we're doing some more space shenanigans as we're playing some Fragged Empire. It's a slightly different vibe, more adventurous, less horror-filled, but come back, hang out with us there. Tuesday, you can see Melissa, myself, and Aaron playing Perils and Princesses. We're all going to be princesses. So we're all very excited for that. Stephen
Very,
back
very-
into the chair.
Pretty princesses.
Yes, pretty princesses. The prettiest of princesses.
That's a different game,
Well,
which we could play. It's a board game.
is it? Okay. That's weird because I think I have all the board games because I have.
I'll buy you this one.
Almost.
I don't need any more, even though I just
Are you
got
sure?
like 3 more. I just got like 3 more this week, so I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. And then what's up after that? Sim Room Thursday, as we are continuing our weekly. We were just getting into it. Very exciting. We had a nice session last night, so come back and hang out for that. And if you haven't already done so, check out the Adventures in Lollygagging YouTube page. We have all sorts of games over there, including other things like Alien and Delta Green and such, and plenty of old games that we played in the past. And if you're listening to this on podcasts or anything like that as well, go check us out. Go follow, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. I'm going to throw it back to Aaron for one more thing, though. What's going on Garblag next week? If we want to give them a quick shout out.
Next week, Tuesday, to be determined at this point, but Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can see me as the narrator for playing some Marvel Multiverse. We're going to do our Season 1 finale, The Cataclysm of Kang, in New York City. And then on Thursday, Ben is going to be in the DMC, and he's running more Modifius Dune. It's Season 3 of the House Dargouche Chronicles, so check that out.
Right on. Perfect. Okay, we're going to go ahead and raid our buddies over at the Defenders of Cobalt. Our buddy Joe is making a game called Anvia. He is running a game right now of Anvia, so you can go kind of take a look at what he's been doing. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll catch y'all later. Come watch some Call of Cthulhu tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Later.
Good night.
Bye.